Welcome back, everybody. Everybody took care of their biologicals. Everything should be good now. A little snack.
How graphic
potty
of you,
bake.
Scott.
You know, there's still some juvenile mentality left in me.
Thank goodness
never
for that.
left.
That's right.
And when we were here before, you guys were discussing access, and you'd gotten in to the storage facility in this craft, what seems to be a craft, and there are boxes and crates, and there's some kind of a ground vehicle that are all just all over the place, thrown around probably from the crash. A lot of stuff was strapped down, not all of it, but a lot of it. And to get anywhere else in the craft, you have to climb down. This is the bottom of the craft, it looks like, and you'd have to climb down, which would normally get up.
Is there anything with which to secure a monofilament wire to up here?
There's ladders all over the place. There are pipes and stuff everywhere. Sure.
Monofilament wire with an eye to for lighting purposes, or
No,
for climbing.
Yeah,
because you're upside down, so it's not really made for you to climb up.
It's the Esper Genesis equivalent of rope.
50-foot of rope.
Do you see a place to secure it?
Oh, I was going to do it around the ladder right here.
Does anybody have a 10-foot pole?
Yeah, right.
No.
I have a collapsible staff. I'm prepared.
Really? A collapsible?
Wow.
It's tapping all the way 10 feet in front of us the whole way down.
Tapping for traps. Oh yes. Don't leave home without it.
No.
Oh wait,
That's
we
what
have
the
the
hirelings.
automatons. We have the automatons are the hirelings. We
There you
have
go.
the NPC. We got the we're set.
Is anybody in pitons? Just in case.
Yeah, I didn't bring those.
Oh, well.
No, sorry, I had to leave them out for the water clock.
Yeah. All right,
yeah,
so
let's get
I'll
down there.
secure the rope there, just drop it straight down, and if I don't see anything moving down there, slide down.
You slide down, and you end up, and you're in the. You have to kind of grab an area to get into the next section, and you're in a corridor that runs. The lights start going on, but it runs a long distance.
Looks okay.
Before I go down,
But you're standing on the roof of it.
Yeah.
before I go down, I say, computer, can you give me a system-wide diagnostic on the current
Access
stat?
denied.
Fair enough.
Hey, ask them if there's any other. I don't know. Anyone home?
Life forms.
Ship's
Computer,
crew?
are there any other life forms aboard?
Affirmative.
Quantity?
And you get a number, and there's a number that's huge.
Like really big?
So over 1,000.
Oh yeah. Like
Okay, so all right. Let's narrow that down. Humanoid life forms.
Computer,
The cockroaches.
sentient humanoid life forms aboard.
Negative.
Bacteria.
Right. Exactly. Yes. Bacteria.
Negative.
Yeah. Can we see what's can I? So I'm going down the monofilament rope, and now that I'm
he's
some
just being
distance
very
closer
It's
to
being
the
a computer.
Were the
Understand.
crates just like generic supplies, or were they?
You're staying back and looking at it while they're
Yeah.
going down the thing. The first crate you look at, it has some writing on it that you recognize partially, and it's maybe it's food.
So maybe crew supplies, like rations.
Yeah, maybe.
Is it green cake? I will eat
if it's
literally
not-
anything that is not green cake right now.
It can be flavored to taste like anything. All you need is really good spices.
Like there's your man.
Yeah, okay.
We'll talk later.
It's like tofu.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
It is like tofu. Green
Alright.
tofu.
Green tofu.
Made of algae.
And blue milk,
With
right?
algae.
They even found an unpleasant name to call it. It's not bad enough that it was just unpleasant, but it's like
Green
the
cake.
name itself is unpleasant.
Yeah,
it's,
right?
it's like unbrandable. You know? Green cake
Hey, at
with
least,
less fiber.
So the green was taken.
Right.
Green,
Yeah.
exactly. That's what I'm thinking of.
hey, at least it's not 40K corpse starch.
It's fair.
Starch.
Ask me what it's composed of.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, then, I mean, once everyone, I'll let everyone go down, but until it's my turn. But until it's my turn, I'm just trying to figure out, get a sense of what the purpose of the ship
another
was.
one you look at maybe it had vehicle parts, maybe for the vehicle.
Yeah, right.
Who knows? Oils, things that a ship would need.
Yeah.
But there seems to be. No, you wouldn't know that. You would know that if it's that, there's a lot more of it than would be needed.
Okay.
There's a lot more
Of like the ship maintenance supplies and things like
that
that.
a ship would need for a normal voyage or
Correct.
a series of voyages that it would
Correct.
take that they would order
Just
for.
way more.
This
than
is
it would
a
be.
huge excess.
Yes.
They laid in for a long trip.
Or they could have been transporting for sale or something.
Yeah, or
a
supply
merchant
ship.
vessel. Who knows?
Where's there a sick bay? Can you see if there's a sick bay aboard?
Computer, is there a medical facility aboard this ship?
Affirmative.
How big? Okay, now
Is anyone injured?
I have this hangnail, actually.
Just ignore
Computer,
it.
is it possible to
How big
provide me with a schematic of the ship's layout?
Negative.
How big is the ship? What are the Can you ask what the dimensions of the ship are?
I can ask. Computer, what are the dimensions of the ship?
Which dimension?
What are the three-dimensional measurements of the ship?
And it gives you some numbers. It's a big ship. It's about the size of. I mean, I hate to use that as a reference, but like a Millennium Falcon sized ship.
So it's not
Corsair or a Corvette.
So that's not a
But
huge
bigger.
ship, though.
But a bigger version of that.
So it's the size of it's a small yacht. I mean, or the size of a small.
Yeah, it's a yacht.
Yeah.
But
So
it's a long yacht. It's a very
Okay.
thin, long ship. Like
What is the
Ask computer,
integrity?
what is the name of the ship?
Computer, does this ship have a registered name?
and it gives you a number.
Is it like a really just like long
Yep.
string of numbers?
Yep.
Like 7265?
With a period somewhere in it.
Got it.
can you find out what that ship, if that ship is registered somewhere, what the name of the ship, where that number would be registered?
Do we have access to the sim?
I always have
You
access
would,
to the
except
sim.
the crucible is down.
Oh, that's true. Not right now.
How much of the ship? What's the integrity of the structure of this ship?
I tried to run diagnostics, and the ship told me that access was denied.
Right.
Seems we must do a manual
Ask
sweep
it
to
where
see
its
the
data core
integrity.
is. We can go find out all this information directly.
Computer, how might I access the data core of this vessel?
You would have to earn that.
This is a sassy computer.
Yeah. You are not worthy.
Go on.
Your computer friend is
How
very
might
honest.
how might I earn access to the data core of this computer?
There's no response. It like stops talking. It shuts down.
Okay.
Your computer friend is very ominous.
Yeah, let's go.
Most
What
of my
are you
computer
doing,
friends are.
Dave?
Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry, Dave. I can't do that.
Might want to watch what we ask.
So maybe let's just go lay eyes on things.
Yeah.
Okay.
A manual sweep.
It appears as if we're going to have to be a little bit more intimate with the ship.
Well, you can do that. I'm going to walk around and look.
I mean, I've heard things about cybermancers.
Cyber romancers, more like. All right. Let's down the
I
road
blush.
and huddle.
You turn purple.
So you get to the corridor on the next floor finally, and he's already there and kind of looking around. And you're walking along the ceiling of it, not the floor. So everything's upside down, like that, not quite flat. And there are doors along this whole corridor on both sides, and they have symbols on them. Now, the corridor itself has lots of pipes running along it. Like it's not yacht-like. It seems very much more utilitarian.
Are these symbols similar to the Sanskrit and Linear B
Yes.
that we've been seeing? Do you think that you have enough information? Now, some of the language though was interspersed with language that you recognized, correct? Do you think that you have enough information that you can look for context clues in order to be able to translate maybe some of these other symbols?
I do have some
You might be
linguistics
able to do
background.
that.
I could give it a shot with my help of my computer. Pop that up and start analyzing. Run some analytical programs adding all the input we've encountered. I have a linguistics proficiency. If that
maybe your linguistics roll.
All right.
Your check.
Oh!
I get the blue screen of death.
Yeah.
There's my first roll.
Natural one.
Language? What is language?
Does not compute.
It's like really boring. You're like,
Yeah.
people fall asleep at it. Like, oh my god, it's
I'm
so
sorry,
trying to figure it out.
I am a little hypoglycemic. I haven't eaten.
There you go.
Nothing but green cake.
So,
No,
Yeah, I got it.
You don't.
so instead, I say, well, the heck with this. I just go and start trying to open all the doors. I'll tell you what's in here.
Doors will open. First door you go to opens, and it looks like a sick bay with all the stuff thrown everywhere.
Right, upside down.
And
sick
it looks
bay.
actually like it's dangerous because there's sharps in there everywhere.
Pirin, that is a lot of needles in this floor.
As-
Ceiling.
It's not necessarily.
Are they
needles.
floating around? Or
No, they're just the ship had turned over.
Right, right, so-
when
right.
it had lost its its anti-gravity.
Right, so all these needles and scalpels
Yeah,
and
whatever's
sharp,
out
whatever
is
is
everywhere.
right is on the ground. Are you able to find out what the life forms were that piloted this ship?
I could send my little floating drone in to look around. Can avoid the
Well,
stuff on the
it can't
floor.
open the door, but it can go all the way to the end of the hall.
But I mean, did we open the med bay or did we just?
Oh,
open
you
it?
go to
We want to go
Yeah,
into
yeah,
sick
yeah.
bay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you get in there, there's no posters or anything like that. There's just material. There's medicines and cabinets that are all broken. A lot of them are broken and liquids everywhere.
Does anything seem out of the ordinary for an upside down sick bay?
It looks like, you know, when you watch an old movie and they have like the doctors like surgical labs and stuff, they look different than they do today.
Yeah.
But you know it's a surgical lab.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Okay. As opposed to like, well, what's that giant tank of blue blood over there? Nothing weird like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
This containment
It
pod
just
is
looks older in
breached.
some way.
Let's
Yeah.
move on.
What's
Yeah.
weird? What's weird about blue blood?
Yeah. You have a problem with blue bloods?
I see you two have a lot in common. All right. Really
Blue
noted.
on the outside, blue
That's
on the
good. That's
inside.
Dylan.
Do not worry. In a coup, I will take your side.
Okay, well, you do that. I'll be right. Yeah, we'll just keep
any
going.
computer terminals in here?
Yes.
Up there, I guess.
Yeah.
Do you want a boost?
Good
Well-
thing. Good thing. I use virtual display. What is being displayed on the computer terminal that's up there?
Well, nothing's on it right now. It's off.
I trigger the device to turn it on. Then I use virtual display.
And you see,
I can see whatever is on the screen.
okay, there's diagnostics on a life form.
Does it show like a diagram?
Do you have medical knowledge? No diagram, but there's data. Do you have medical skills?
Xenobiology.
You have medicine,
I do not. I mean, I have a bonus.
Can you share
I'm
that
not
with
proficient.
us?
science,
No, I
astro,
can't.
but xenobiology.
Yeah, I have xenobiology if I could get there.
I could.
Wait, where are you?
I could
Well,
transfer
I mean,
the data
it's-
to my data
He's
pad
seeing it in his mind.
and
I
then
see, I
share
see.
it.
Right.
Some of the data comes, some doesn't, because it doesn't recognize what it is, so it doesn't even move it.
Can I like PDF it?
You know what I can
and
do?
just get the
I can,
image. Of
I can. I mean, I say, well, how important is this? I mean, I can get up there safely if I need to. I just.
How important? I just thought it might shed light on
What's
what
going
people
on?
this ship before us. Presumably, they would.
I mean, sickbay would tell
I mean,
us
I can
where they're what race this people
I
were.
can
Yeah.
screenshot it and share it with you.
Well, I mean, I can. I
If
have
they're
this-
human, you know
I
what
can.
I mean, or if they're not human.
I have a talent called guiding discs, which basically lets
yeah,
you
yeah,
can
yeah.
create 3 of them like steps,
Oh, cool.
and I can just keep boop, 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 kind of walk on up. So
Oh,
I
that's
can,
perfect.
I can
Nice.
go on up there.
It's a first level talent though.
Yeah, I'd be using a talent point to do it.
Yeah.
But,
I could do this for free.
if you have a way to do it for without taxing yourself,
Yeah. You can make a screenshot.
Yeah, I could just take a screenshot
right?
and then share the screenshot with you.
Right. Well, I just would. Can we? I have xenobiology. I'll see if I can analyze
So you get
the
data, but it doesn't look like anything you recognize.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really necessarily say, the data would not indicate what the species was or anything. It's just data.
Right. But it
You'd
would-
have to
It's
extrapolate.
just data. Oh,
probably.
it's not a picture of anything. It's
No,
not.
no
I
image.
see.
All right. So,
Because it's computer
Well,
language talking to.
I mean, does it look
I see.
roughly humanoid, or is it? Do I have any
You don't
sort
see
of
a
sense?
picture. There's no picture.
There's no picture.
It's data.
But the
I-
data, does it say it's
sort of like
carbon
doing
based, for
zoology
instance,
based
or?
on statistics.
Right.
Is there any way to take the data and render an image from it? Like if I ran it through my
Maybe if
my
you
personal
knew what
computer?
all the data said.
Got it.
Well, we just keep
It's
recording this.
potentially-
Yeah,
Later.
I'm just gonna.
It's potentially doable, but it's not going to happen fast.
Got it.
Right.
I'm gonna scrape data off. Of
Are we in?
this computer.
We're in this sick bay now, right?
Yeah.
You're right outside the sick bay, or maybe you stepped in. I mean, moved away
yeah.
whatever was on the ground. So sure, you're in, if you want to be in the sick.
I'd
bay,
like to
sick
be
bay.
in there. Yeah. I mean, I'd like to look and see if there's anything.
Boots.
Yeah, I mean, anything that looks like clothing, anything that looks like.
Could
There
you
are robes,
ask the
And what are the-
computer
what are the
if
shapes
there
of
is an
them?
armory aboard
White.
this ship?
and they have
I could
like a white coat,
certainly try.
but with 4 armholes.
4 armholes.
Yes.
And are there any races that spring to mind immediately that have 4 arms?
None that you know.
I have
of.
forms.
Touche.
Good shot.
Yeah, none that you know of that is
All right.
4 armed.
Because forewarned.
I will strangle you in your sleep.
Am I able to query the computer or no?
Not
Like
at the moment.
like the system wide computer? No.
Not at the moment.
What, do you want to try the next door?
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
What's behind door number 2?
And as you get out, you hear the computer voice. Are you planning on opening every door in this place?
Yes.
The door's all open.
Well, that's very convenient.
No.
Thank you.
Control A, open.
You're welcome. Please take care of my previous occupants well.
Are there any survivors?
Negative.
I did ask.
Right. Well, I just wonder what do you mean by previous occupants?
And there's no answer.
Well, I'm just going to walk into the next room.
Yeah.
Right across the hall.
Kind of stroll down the hall.
Right. This makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, we just
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see, and it looks like there are quarters.
Mm.
There's a mechanic's closet or a machinist's closet where they can machine parts, it looks like.
Mm.
There are areas that have food stores and a mess hall. So it looks like maybe it was a small crew that crewed it. And as you go further, then there's a larger room, like a larger bedroom that looks like maybe a captain's quarter. It's a little bit bigger. And then you get right before the end of the hall, and at the end of the hall there's a doorway also, but it is not opened. But the doors next to it have computer cores, and there's a sorium core held in stasis in the middle of one of the rooms.
There's a what? What is
A
it?
sorium core.
Sorium.
That's
good
the
stuff.
what's what powers the ship.
That's what powers the
That's
universe.
the fuel
That's
Yeah.
what the
they got
crucible
from
is
the
made of.
crucibles, yeah.
Sorium core. I'm 40% sorium.
So let's, yeah, I mean, I think we probably want to.
If we can get 2 things. First, if we can get to the captain's room, I'd like to see if there's some sort of log of.
You can get to the captain's room. It looks
Probably,
like
that might be
it's a
on
bigger room.
the bridge.
It could be on the bridge, but he could also have a personal login on his personal computer.
No, but one thing that is interesting is there are books all over this room.
Paper books.
In what language?
That's a
Well,
mystery language.
Make a linguistics check.
I will look as well.
Can
Some of them
I?
maybe
I'm gonna
look
use
like-
the other one just in case. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
7. Well, so I've got a good roll in this. So 13.
All of the books look like they're partially in Silrain and other characters that you don't recognize.
Actually, I think is this would this fall under the lore history
Maybe.
applicable here? Just because I get
The way that the characters are written
Double
looks
my-
older than the way that they're written now.
so that would be. I don't know if I double add my bonus or re-roll.
Do you have
I can't remember.
expertise?
It's a racial thing. Did I write it down? Double proficiency. Okay, so it's a
Yeah.
15. That's
Okay.
right. Not that big a difference. All right. Well, these are old books.
Neat.
Interesting. We will have to come here later.
Yeah, here, take a couple.
Is the amount of thorium there like financially significant? Is it a lot?
All sorting is
All sorting.
Okay. Okay.
is significant.
Thorium.
This is one of the things they always remove from the ships up above.
Gotcha.
They have
Yeah.
it in there at that point.
Which makes it curious that there's still an intact thorium core
And
on.
it's held in a magnetic stasis field, so
The crash wouldn't.
the crash didn't get it.
Computer.
Didn't break it. Yes,
What brought down this ship?
it arrived on time.
This was a scheduled. What is it called?
Landing.
This was a scheduled drop.
This was the destination.
Interesting.
We do not believe this was part of the festivities.
Did the crew leave the ship alive?
There was only one crewman.
What happened to the crewman?
He is deceased.
We think if we make it to the bridge, we
I'm
might.
sorry, not he. It is deceased.
If we make it to the bridge, we may be able to discover the fate of our missing crewman.
Well, I would like to look a little bit more at this core.
As would I.
This has all the
You
infos.
said there were 2 cores? There's
Yes.
Okay.
One is suspended or both are?
They're both. There's one on both sides.
Oh,
of
each
the
side.
thing. Mhm.
Did the crewman die in the crash?
You haven't found a crewman yet.
No, I'm asking the
Oh,
computer.
There's no answer anymore.
Looks like we've got a job to do.
All right, I'll take the left one.
I'll take the right.
We will look for the
Where's
bridge.
Tusk, by the way?
He's walking down the hall, and you can see he's like counting things.
Right.
Adding up.
Right.
As he goes through. And he's very happy.
We will search for them.
Yeah, well,
A whole intact ship. You got a
Yeah, I
car
know.
out
never
there,
happens.
right?
Yeah.
We will search for the
Although he
bridge.
hates spaceships. He never wants to travel in space.
Well, isn't there like a land vehicle out there though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you gonna say?
Brand new car.
Computer, may we have access to the bridge?
The computer speaks for a moment. She goes, or it goes, I won't say she, it goes, you have not guaranteed that you will take proper care of my previous occupants.
What constitutes proper care?
The appropriate ceremonies.
Ah.
Computers?
Yeah, well, maybe we'll find out what those appropriate ceremonies are by.
Oh, I
accessing their
think it's
radicals.
referring to some form of burial ceremony.
Oh, that.
Yes, we promise to do so within the limits of our knowledge.
And you get scanned. There's like a light that scans you from somewhere. Acceptance verified. And it waits.
Okay. So, can you open it then? Or where is the crew member?
The rest of you have not,
Oh.
accepted the
Everyone-
Oh, yes, affirmative.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, we can do that. That seems only decent, right?
And you get scanned, each one of you. And
We endeavor to lay the proper rituals.
And then Tusk comes over and goes, well, wait a minute. What if there's valuables on that person that are really useful that,
Well, we
what if
did.
they're, bejeweled or something?
Well, I don't. Well, I mean, one problem with this agreement is I don't know what constitutes proper care. I mean, are we supposed to incinerate the body, bury it in the sand, send it back to its home? Hey, computer, do you know what the appropriate ceremonies are? Different cultures,
Yes, the body must be returned to its origination place.
Which is what?
No answer.
Just the body, not its possessions?
No answer.
We'll find that out as we go.
I turn to Tusk and say, well, we've all agreed to this. I don't see why you wouldn't have a problem with it. Look at this ship. This is yours, after all of it. Wouldn't want to have us compete
I
hostile
agree.
with this. There you go.
Scans him. Maybe he gets scanned. And the door opens.
And I'm going to send a message to Odyssey, letting him know that we've made that were at the ship that crashed, at the second vessel that crashed. It appears to be.
Yeah, there's all kind of excitement. Apparently, I guess your friend Tusk put out a ping, and now everyone realizes there were 2 craft, and nobody knew there were 2 craft. So you should probably expect a welcome wagon when you get back in some way.
It sounds.
Ominous.
Yeah.
Everyone here is.
You want to clarify that a little bit?
We should invite them aboard the ship.
There's a lot of pressure.
We should
on
not
people
do
to find
that.
out how a craft crashed with no one knowing how it crashed, how it got here. The space station went down, lost its power apparently when it passed by, and a crucible went down.
We have
So
reason to think
there's
that
a
maybe
lot.
that it's related to that. That that this ship crashing was directly related, either a cause or an effect of the station going offline. Can't you give us, as far as I'm concerned, I'm kind of doing this on behalf of your foundation. Can't you give us any coverage on this?
Well, right now the coverage is that because Tusk made the claim, no one's allowed in the area until he authorizes. So you have some time to figure out what you want to do with this, but I mean, I'm trying to do what I can to keep people back, but everyone wants to know what happened and what's going on. There's people who are afraid up on the station right now. They'd hate for it to go
Probably with some
to
justification.
have its orbit reduced. That could be catastrophic.
If the power goes out again or something.
I mean, it'd have to be drawn. I mean, it's in orbit. It's not going to.
Electrons.
But who knows what else it could do to it. But I'm doing what I can to keep people at bay.
We'll keep you
But
posted.
they know you're all that. They know who's there, because it's on the logs, and they've already got into that. Everybody has the news, the marshals. They want to talk whenever someone returns.
Well, I feel better knowing that other people know that we're out here, that this is here, and not just
saying that it's her
Carillion.
claim.
Well, she can say whatever she wants to.
I do not think I like
It will
this
not be
Corellia woman.
This will not be a fun battle with her. She'll bring everything to bear for this. I'm not sure why, but she thinks whatever this is super valuable to her.
Good to know.
Good luck, though. I think you're the right person to go.
We'll keep you posted.
Maybe we should.
Once you disconnect, I point out, and I'm sure Tusk knows where I'm coming from. What we find here is only known to us at this point.
Agreed.
And the computer.
Which computer? Oh, that computer?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it
It does know.
It knows
Yeah.
more than we know.
Let's go see about our four-armed friend in the front room there.
knows. Mm-hmm.
So you go in, and there's on the ceiling there is a seat, a chair, with a person strapped mounted to it.
Right.
And it almost looks like the thing has melded to it over time in some way.
Are we talking like Space Jockey here?
What do you mean, like Space Jockey?
Like the original Aliens?
Kind of
these
alien
things?
where it's like biomechanical.
Well, I mean, it's not like.
No, I mean-
it's a seat, but it looks like it's become part of the seat.
Okay, yeah.
And this is old anyway, right? This
Yeah.
is an old. So this
Yeah.
does this corpse look old? And
You don't see the corpse; you see a suit, and
Hmm.
it looks like there's a helmet and all kinds of stuff. But it looks like even the suit is like just melded into this thing.
Like
Does-
it's been there
seat.
for hundreds of years or something, maybe?
There's no dust in here, so it's hard to tell.
and this suit, does it have? Is it apparent how many arms, for instance, it has?
4.
It has 4 arms and 2 legs.
Yes.
Okay.
We believe we have found the original inhabitant. How do we get him down?
How do we get up there?
Well, I could do
Oh,
my.
you mentioned that. Yeah.
I could do my trick.
Yeah.
Oh, your
Take a look.
steps.
I have some. Yeah, I might be able to analyze the life form once I'm up there too. So.
Go ahead.
I can do that.
Okay.
So I, and some little invisible, I think, to you guys, I suppose, discs appear, and I'm able to kind of scramble up them and move them around.
Can you, while he's doing that, can you scan this for any obvious besides stealth technology?
I mean, I could. I can go.
Any obvious what?
I mean, and any kind of technology that is alien to us, you know, particularly the cloaking, but whatever.
Is there,
you know.
is there like, I'm gonna assume that this is the bridge to some degree.
Yeah.
And that there's
windows apparently looking into dirt.
and there's probably some sort of primary computer terminal.
Not that you necessarily see, but some ships now do it. It's digital, like it envelops you in the data.
Got it. Am I able to access the cloud or data?
You're not really sure where to yet.
Maybe it's up here at the chair.
And when you get up there, the helmet has a visor, like a glass-looking visor, that's broken, and inside it is nothing.
As in, it's just entirely empty. Not a skeleton, nothing.
No bones, nothing like that. And you look a little closer and you see there's a little dust in it.
Hey, Boots, why don't you ask the computer how long our friend here has been deceased?
Computer, when was the expiration date of your previous
Occupant.
Approximately 2,478 years.
Now, I maybe I know this. I mean,
Now that dust, is it like crystallized dust? I mean, is it dust or
we're
is
talking
it
bone dust or something?
Maybe bone dust.
I see.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna look for. I'll try to remove the suit so that we can properly dispose of the body, or what remains of it, and try to
Well, the suit it has to be like
cut out or something.
not cut. It feels like it's almost glued in, so you probably have to like
Do you need this?
de-adhesive it.
Yeah.
You need this? Like tricky fingers of welding like torch up to you.
Well, I don't know if welding torch is the right thing, but I mean, I've got
plasma
do
cutter.
things like I've got
You
some
have chemistry.
Yeah, and I've also
figure it
got
out with chemistry. You
a
can figure out how, what would
Some sort of solvent.
yeah, I've
Yeah,
also got
solvent-
like a
solvent to it.
sample kits and mag seal jars to
91%
like collect.
isopropyl alcohol.
But I'm also looking for interface panels, like if there's something that can bring up the
Nothing.
HUD or anything like that. No, nothing. Right. Well, I'll do what I'm working on this, getting this corpse or what remains of it down. Right. Well, you
I'm gonna go and inspect this.
Maybe a vacuum cleaner.
Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Hoover, right?
Lit up.
Inside
Or just
the
doing
suit.
this
Just
Am I able
Hoover
to
out there.
access?
You can't
bone
touch
dust.
it
And then just bury
without
the
turning it off.
right.
the
Put it in
vacuum
a
cleaner.
freeze-dried canister.
It's sealed in a magnetic
Launch
field.
it
You
into
could
space.
a coffee jar.
you could reach in, but you'd start to feel heat and pain from it.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do that.
Reach into what?
I mean,
The
thorium's
thorium.
not radioactive. It
Yeah.
doesn't. It's not like it's going to irradiate you. It would be painful to get. It magnetically be painful.
Oh, to get at the
Trying
core.
to touch
Yeah.
the core when it's active and functioning.
Is it shielded or
After a little bit of time, you figure out what the solvent would be required to disconnect the melded suit.
Right. I'm just trying to fulfill the obligation to the computer to
Preserve the.
give it its proper burial or whatever. And also, I mean, yeah, while I'm up there, I'm looking for signs of what
Right.
this is. There's insignia on the suit or
No.
any possessions at all in the creature.
The room is really weirdly barren.
Yeah.
This particular room.
There's no bridge display, but
No, but it looks. But you know that some ships have. I mean, the bridge display comes up as a HUD. So maybe
he was
need that.
plugged in or something.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's in his helmet.
Yeah, or there's just somewhere there's a
It's-
projector that
But he says that
broadcasts.
you look in the helmet and you see there's a projection sticking or a post sticking into the back of the helmet.
In the sense that a skull would have been like into the
Correct.
Like it would have been an implant.
Like
kind
he was
of thing.
jacked
direct
in.
jack,
Right.
yeah.
I'll explain that to them. Like, oh, we got a cranial jack here. I'm not gonna test that one out myself. But
And the
Pilots have that. Not a big deal.
and a lot of the
Yeah, sure.
and a lot of the chair itself, does it look
Forgot
like
all my maps.
it was designed like that, or like over time it meshed with the suit?
It looks like it was kind of designed like that, but it looks like he's been there so long that it's just his chemicals in it have broken down and have sort of melted away, melded down.
Well, I've got him just about removed. Do we want to check the computer data?
I would if I knew how to access the computer terminal.
Well, presumably through that, you have a way to interface with his jack.
You don't like putting foreign jacks into your...
I don't know that it would fit. It's probably not the same kind of plug. Could you adapt it?
I probably
It is
could.
it is 2,000 years old.
Yeah,
If you
that's-
could
Let's see what I
adapt it. I mean, everything else is
We've
functional
never
here.
encountered
He'd been
anything
dead
that
for
old.
2,000 years.
Oh, wow.
2,700
That's
years.
how the old the dead depart.
Computer, what will be the nature of the rituals required to put him, the previous occupant, to rest?
She said send it back.
It's
Yeah,
just
we have,
send
to,
it.
we have to bring him back to where he came from.
And we asked where that was, and we didn't get an answer. Is that
But
correct?
you
Not.
need to return to his place, to its place of origin.
And we don't know what that is. Yeah.
Are you able to determine that from either
You
the
are
data
here.
cores?
Oh, this is
Oh,
his
this
place
is
of
it?
origin.
Oh,
We're just carrying it outside and we're done. This is a little easier than I
hey,
thought.
interesting.
It's always that easy.
Dust to dust. He's bone dust, guys.
Yeah, there you go.
Join the
From the gray to the
Well.
gray, he shall return.
from dust to dust, right?
Do you, Wraith, do you know, we are not up on our lore of the planet. The planet was colonized by Terrans. There was no indigenous species there,
no.
to the best of your knowledge.
Just the sea life. There's life here on the planet, but not
There's animals and plants.
yeah.
Yeah.
No
Well,
forearms.
No sapient life.
but no sapient life. Correct.
Interesting.
Yeah, very. All right. Well, I mean, do you want? So there's no way at all to interface with those cores
Can
at all?
I make an attempt to interface with the data jack?
You could do it once you get the suit away.
Okay.
Potentially, you could
Did
do
we
it.
find out? Did we ask what the mission, what the previous occupant's mission was?
No, we did not.
We did not.
Computer, what was the occupant's mission? The occupant of your ship's mission.
You were not authorized for that.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough.
How do I gain authorization?
Observe the
You
rituals.
earn it.
I think setting him to rest would probably be.
Half the battle.
So we bury him outside? Is
I
that what
guess-
this
I
is?
guess
I
so.
guess. I mean, return him to his point of origin if it's here.
Is the planet close enough to its point, or do we need to find like its
Yeah.
town?
Wait, the planet is its point of origin?
Yeah, here.
He's from, as far as
How's
we
that
can tell,
possible?
And they said they reached their destination.
Yeah.
This
here.
is why we asked.
exactly when it was meant to.
This is why we asked if there were any indigenous inhabitants before the coming of the Terran.
Well, I mean, 2,600 years is we don't have records for that back then.
Computer, what planet are we currently on?
You are on a tour 4.
Mm.
Any of us heard of a planet? I mean, that's my
You've never heard of that planet.
that's my jam, but I don't know that one, huh?
Nope.
Definitely gonna until 4.
Are there 4
Computer.
planets in this system now?
Three.
There's only 3, right?
Yeah.
2 gas giants and this.
Yep.
Computer, what is
But-
the indigenous species
Bunch
of
of
Ator
asteroid
4?
belts.
There's a bunch of asteroid belts, and one of them might have blown up, right? Sorry.
Praetorians.
Makes sense.
What did you ask?
What is the
What is the name of the indigenous species of this planet Ator 4?
A Torian.
Atorians. You know.
Wow. I mean, there's so much I'm gonna ask here.
When you complete taking the previous occupant out,
Mhm.
you must return it to the temple.
Mm.
Can you give us a map to the temple, or coordinates?
coordinates would be nice.
This is the coordinates.
The temple's here,
Oh.
beneath us, maybe.
Under this.
Buried.
Oh, that's why it planted. Because it landed where it was supposed to land, which is no longer.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, Tusk. Is there anyone know how deep the sand goes here?
I don't know. It's
All the
just
way
sand.
down.
Are there structures out here? Is there any? There's no. I'm asking
Not
him.
out here.
No.
No, there's nothing out here. Sand buries everything.
Could there be one?
Computer.
Underneath?
I mean, if there was, I don't know how you'd easily get to that.
This is a very old planet.
Yep, very old. Tidally locked planets are the oldest of the planets.
Right.
Because it takes a long time to become tidally locked to the sun.
Right.
Computer, what onboard scanners are you equipped with?
You're authorized to the biometric scan and the life support system.
I wanted to see if the computer had any ability to scan
Ground
through the sand
penetrating
beneath
radar.
us, but I guess not.
Sonar
Yeah.
or something, right?
Yeah, some sort of ground penetrating sonar or something.
We have no access to sensors or scanners.
Not external.
Not external at the moment.
Well, I've got the suit down by now, I assume.
Yeah,
And
you
so
can get
then-
it down. And it's like the back of it is just really gross. From it has adhesive to the seat.
Right.
There.
Melt.
Right,
Melt.
and he probably
Yeah. There's just dust inside.
those chemicals, those chemicals are probably the previous occupant too. You know?
So I have a two mag
Having
seal
leaked out.
jars.
You know.
Mm.
So these mag seal
Organic
jars
remains of
are an
petrochemical
airtight
residue.
thing. So I'm going to carefully dump the dusty contents of the suit into this like vacuum seal jar, so we don't have to carry around this nasty suit. I guess this is
Oh, great, yeah.
Smart.
like unbreakable jar in my pack. Like there you go. It's a little like what do you urn or something.
It's a very
Don't
futuristic.
grab any thermos you see around the camp.
Yeah.
Check it
Right.
first.
Be careful. It might be
Yeah.
the pilot.
Ah,
That is
Four
not
arms.
hot chocolate mix.
there was my nest. There was my Nesquik.
Yeah. So once I do that, I would like to go and try to interface with the drive with the cores, because that seems to be the only source of information that we might be able to access directly that is not so
Cryptic.
or well, doesn't require us to earn so much.
You think you're going to have to decipher how this is written. It's not a simple.
Yeah.
It's not a letter to letter.
Right.
It's not. The cipher to it is more complicated, just because there's so much that's unknown about it. It's sort of like, I mean, in some ways you have already your Rosetta Stone. Because
Right.
a lot of the letters are there.
Right.
And a lot of the words are there.
You got to do the hard
But
work.
some of them aren't.
I could probably write an AI that could do it for us, but it's gonna have to run for some time.
Yeah, I can crack paying away at it. And have we explored the full layout of the ship? There's no more tunnels and hallways that we know of.
It's pretty simple.
All right.
It's just
Well, I mean,
decent size.
so I mean, Kel is entirely absorbed by this weird mystery, so he's just gonna be in the room at the core and just plop down and pull out his computer and start working at it and seeing if he can interface with the core that's floating there, sort the language data that he's gathered so far.
You think that the two of you could combine in a way where you could write, he could help you decipher what characters are most likely to be something and what they might be, and then you could code it to tell it, run it based on that,
Yeah.
run it based on that, and over, and you could
Edited.
you could very slowly, manually break it down.
Are there
I mean, they call
are
them
any
manual.
of the books in this paper library books that we might have otherwise have copies of, modern day copies of, that I could use to back translate what
You'd have to
like,
go through them all.
Also, that's a whole bunch more examples of the language. right?
exactly.
Yeah.
I will say I have the background feature that seems relevant here.
I'm going to give you an inspiration because that was a really good idea.
Yeah, it was.
You get an inspiration token.
So, my scholarly
Not
background
either, but
specifically is
of
called legwork. You know how to find information, quote, even when it's been buried deep within old data files or even ancient tomes of generations past.
Well, that seems pretty real.
That might be
Seems
relevant.
pretty relevant.
So you guys go digging through the paper books.
Perfect.
Or the books made of paper and material. And there's one or two books that what would be considered to you like ancient mythology books or something. Like really ancient.
Like the prose Edda.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
like the Odyssey or something,
Yeah.
right?
But potentially is one of the newer
I
writings,
was gonna say,
In
hot
this
off the presses
library.
on the cover there.
you know, it has more characters in it than you recognize than in the other books.
Well, I
More
brought my
characters and words.
personal data library with me, so maybe we can compare if anybody has the modern text, right? Because that's how
And
they
you know,
did
you
them
could
in
have
ARB, right?
Yeah, you could have your assistant can just scan all the pages for you and digitize it for you.
So let's work together on that.
It's a good plan.
Okay. So, in here, once they're out, the jack doesn't look like a kind that is exactly what you've seen, but it doesn't look all that different. It's still a post that connects in.
Okay.
Some of them now they connect in and they widen out to make sure they stay connected,
Mm-hmm.
so they don't easily move or change anything. And then
I mean, while they're working on that, can
Yeah.
I try and work out an interface between the two?
but you think that you could probably do it. It's still just it's mechanical at this point.
Okay.
It's a mechanical problem more than a digital problem.
Okay.
Being able to get your DNI to be able to talk to that system.
All right.
No, not yet.
It just won't work.
Can I use my inspiration to let him roll advantage?
Yes, go ahead.
There you go.
Nice.
Good use.
So I roll.
Roll
Yeah,
again.
that was generous.
Okay.
Take the better
That's
result.
nice. Okay. There you go. 13. 18.
There you go. Yes.
Worth it.
Eventually, you get it connected, and it's a long cable because you're sitting on
Yeah.
the ceiling, and it's
Yeah.
on the floor. So you have a long physical cable connected, and you're standing there, and your eyes just go blank for a bit, and he goes like his legs lock up, and he is just staring into space. Yeah, you're in there.
You
No,
guys
he's
are
not
probably
reacting.
with them.
You're in
Yeah,
there
we're
too.
busy.
We're elsewhere.
We think our pilot has made contact. Or is dead.
So he put the jack. He jacked into the thing.
Yeah, like a
he
breadboard
ran
in my
a
mouth
wire
and
up
goes,
between his jack
Yeah.
and one up there, and he figured out a way to make it connect enough, and then his eyes went blank and his legs locked up. And
Right,
his stuff
seized. He's
standing,
having
right.
he's having
Like
some
just-
sort of a yeah.
Hmm.
Can you two get up to the bridge?
Well, it has to run for a little while, so sure. Boop, boop, boop. What seems to be the problem? Oh,
You guys, I guess you can go. And you see him standing there with his eyes just blank, staring in with a wire between the DNI and his DNI and the
didn't
post.
your parents tell you never to put foreign objects into your body? Is this the kind of thing that would happen normally when somebody is interfacing with like massive amounts of data, or is this like he's having a seizure?
Yes.
Or both. It could be both.
Poor
Right.
analyst.
I mean, he's definitely having some. He's seized up, So
Yeah.
and he's doing the other thing.
I'm kind of
Is there any way of disconnecting him from this without
harming him or the computer.
irreparably? Right. Computer. What's happening to our? What's happening to the current occupant?
He's interfacing with the navigational controls.
Is he in any danger?
He seems confused by them, and his mind is trying to understand them.
Hey computer, can you send the navigational data to my personal computer here?
Do you have a DNI?
You guys didn't have Wi-Fi 2,400 years ago? No.
Well,
Should we,
That
At least he
material
is not
accessible-
Well, I mean,
that material is accessible through the astrogation computer, to
Can
the
you-
astrogation core.
can you give us access to that core?
You've been looking at it for a
Yeah,
while.
we've been
Oh, it's
looking
the
at
same
the
thing.
core.
It's just
but
about
we-
interpreting the data. Okay, thank you. So he's looking directly at what we are spending all this time trying to interpret.
Yeah.
And you're getting it flooded right into your brain.
But is this going to hurt him in any way?
I don't know. I've never tried to download 2,400 years worth of astrogation data into my head.
Into your brain, into your wetware.
Great. So he's gonna be lawnmower man.
Or you're like Dave when he looks into the inside of the obelisk.
Right. Limitless.
Do not worry. He will either know many things or he will be dead. Either way, his problems will be solved.
Stars, he says. Do you feel one with everything right now?
I looked into the abyss, and it looked into me.
And it took you over.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
there
maybe
we
we
go.
should computer.
The DandD pulls out and he falls to the ground.
Okay.
Run over and do a basic medicine check on him.
Oh,
See.
it looks like maybe he's had a concussion or something.
No.
Like he's acting like that. Yeah, he doesn't seem to respond like he knows where he is very well. His eyes, he seems blurred, his vision's blurred.
How many?
Yes.
He is not okay, but he is all right.
Do I recall anything?
Darn.
You think that
We will never
this,
see.
that this area where you're at in space is not the same as it was when this data was supplied.
Okay.
Something is different about it.
Gotcha.
Position of stars relative to the area.
Yeah.
And it was
the galaxy
5,000 years
moved.
ago,
Yes.
Yeah.
Your
There might be a
zodiacs are
missing
wrong.
planet.
Yeah. A lot's changed.
Was this planet tidally locked back then?
Are you? I don't know who you asked.
I don't know.
Is he?
I
Is
barely
he,
remember
is
anything.
he right? Is he? Does he
He's
gain his
still trying to-
consciousness?
It's not like he's still trying to figure out like where he is at the moment, but he can feel like different things about the space this place was in as a navigator, as a pilot, and something is different about it. Like if it landed here, the craft, thinking this was the place, you know that from your navigation that the coordinates are wrong.
Yeah. Things have moved. Plate tectonics, something has moved things around.
Computer, is Ator 4 a tidally locked planet?
Negative.
Computer, can you give us a visual display of the system as you have it recorded?
Yeah, and it shows you in the room a display comes up, a holographic display,
Yeah.
and there are 4 planets. One of them is very close to the sun.
Is that where the asteroid, or is there a planet where the asteroids field
Maybe.
is?
Well, which one is missing?
There's still 2 asteroid fields out there, so
Okay.
the planet closest to the sun is the one missing.
Does the sun seem to have expanded to engulf that planet, or
No.
Missing planet.
Computer, do you know what the current status is of Ator 1?
Cha-ching!
Ator 1 was scheduled for dismantling.
Wow.
Let's get it to this. Is the crucible in this map that's up on the screen? The display has the crucible sitting at the
Yes.
end of the system and everything?
Yes.
Woof.
Are the Atorians responsible for that structure? I indicated the crucible.
Was about
Yes, there's a transportation hub.
we may have stumbled on the original creators of the crucible.
That's a good question. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Hey, yeah. Honestly, Mike, this is not a question that can accurately be answered. But Kelvin would certainly ask, "Well, tell me everything about the crucible that you know, just all of it."
All right. So from what I know, so the 2 gas giants are approximately where they are now, at least orbitally.
A ship is approaching.
Oh, nuts. It's probably going to be,
People, what's her name?
yeah.
Corellian.
Krillian.
I do not like this Corellian.
Yeah, nobody likes her.
So what's our that's Tusk, right?
Yeah.
So what's our status here? He's already put the
Yeah.
claim.
We're here
so whoever's
legally.
here, we're here legally.
Correct.
So I'm not.
I don't think that
So
matters
let's go-
much to
I don't-
her.
Yeah.
Huh? Well,
That doesn't matter very much.
well,
to
I
her.
understand that, but I'm just.
I mean, if we can't make the claim if we are dead.
But we're not the only ones who know that we're out here.
True.
We would wager that everyone knows we are out here.
Yeah.
Computer, can you identify the approaching craft?
They're not responding to the appropriate pings.
Can you remove the data cores?
Not easily.
Well, I mean, computer, if we wish to bring these data cores with us, is that something you'd allow?
Why would you take them from me?
We think that we must
Well,
go greet our new arrivals.
Well, we're worried that the ship inbound is intended to do damage to this vessel.
And not honor the
What, and us?
proper ceremonies regarding the placement.
Well, that is your concern.
All right.
Oh, whoa.
Very well. Very well. Very well.
So I'm gonna just message Odessa that we have company. I'm not gonna call him. I'm just gonna message him. And let him.
What do you mean you have company? Nobody's supposed to be out there.
There's another
Are
ship.
you sure
out.
they're not going to the freighter?
We're too
'Cause
far.
that's
out.
not too far.
Well, I mean, they're coming here.
Far enough. But yeah, it looks like they're inbound to here, not to the freighter. But they could go close within the freighter's range in that overlapping space.
Yeah. And be technically.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we should prepare for an arrival. I'll tell you what. We could probably close that catch, and they'd have some trouble getting in.
Computer,
We couldn't breathe. But
close the exterior hatch.
there's.
Closed.
Oh, yeah. Well, at least it's not going to purge
Well-
the atmosphere again.
Wait, Eddie's out there.
Yeah, no. Yeah, we should go. We need
we
to go
should
out
greet-
there.
we
don't
should
need to
greet
go out
our
there.
guests.
Yeah, we don't
Yeah,
need to, We
agreed.
don't need to be hiding. I mean, either way, we can't. We're not gonna make a stand in here.
Yeah.
Right.
So let's make our way out.
I agree.
We should greet our guests as someone
Um,
works the king's feathers.
You want to ask that? You want to ask the
Safe
computer
word?
to secure
Yes.
all of its systems. Can you have the computer secure all of its systems?
Against unauthorized intrusion.
Right.
Is this vessel equipped with anti-gravity?
Yes.
Would you be able to move from where you are now?
The ship would need to be righted first.
We are technically
You don't
upside
have.
down.
You don't have. There's no manual thrusters that would get that will enable the ship to get out of its.
But there is a giant space turtle out there with a bunch of chains.
Yeah, the ship would need to be righted for the anti-gravity to be operational, to be functional.
Maybe we go take care of our visitors, and then
Chunk.
we'll have the time to do that.
Can you
All right.
secure? Can you secure the systems here for some against outside usage?
I mean, only we have.
Well, we're the only ones that are able to.
We're the
that
only ones
are
authorized.
And we had a lot of trouble getting in.
getting in. Okay, so that's fine. So we'll go up and
Okay.
see who's out there.
All right, and you get up there and you can see some lights on the ground in the distance. And they're moving, like bobbing back and forth.
Right.
People walking.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe take a look.
Maybe 10 of them.
Is there any sort of defensive position here? I got really the sand.
Sand dunes.
Yeah.
You can bury yourself.
I mean,
Do you have any weaponry? Does anybody have any? Is anybody
interior
armed? By
of
the way,
ship, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
you're armed.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
I mean, not really. I
Well,
just
maybe
stick
you can-
the knife.
We are
I
always,
have a metal baton and a needler pistol.
we are always
Force bolt.
armed.
Force bolt.
That's about it.
So just
I got a big saber.
something that might actually be effective in this situation. Maybe we can.
Soren's eyes light up.
I know someone who's armed.
We are always armed. Just
Keep your eyes open for the possibility of hostility.
keeping your eyes closed in a situation like this would be a bad idea.
Right. That wasn't helpful.
It was not intended to be.
There.
And
All right.
after maybe 10 minutes, you see the lights get close enough that you can start seeing there are people walking this way and then they've obviously crossed out of what would have been the freighter's protected space
Yeah.
and into what is protected
Can we
space
make
here.
out what they are?
Or how many?
What their
Looks like
uniforms?
there's about 10. They're not in uniform. They're wearing, clothing for the desert, and goggles, masks, and stuff to cover the sand, what have you. Just enough to get out here. It looks like whatever they did was done pretty quickly. And Tuss says it's probably a team sent to assess this, not to take it. That would come next, if that were to come.
Well, Tusk, what's the standard operating procedure when you get this sort of
How
problem?
so? Are they within hailing distance?
Yeah, you could yell and they would hear you.
I turn on the recorder.
Yeah, on a little device.
And
This piece has already been claimed.
you see him gesture something, and the Kalid starts to turn.
Who gestured, Tusk or?
Tusk.
Okay.
He gestured in some way, and the Kalid started turning this way. Why don't the two of us go out and talk to them? I don't want them to know how many people we have. Not yet. Keep your lights down. And the two of you go out. Eddie, come with us too. I want to know that we're here together. So you and the two of them go out. And as you get out there, you see that they look like marshals. And one or two are ones that have been questionably on the take. Questionably. In your mind, they're probably not questionable anymore.
Right.
And you see something that looks like that with them.
Oh. Definitely let the camera see that one.
Like that. Can you see it okay? Okay.
Is that recognizable?
No. And it comes forward with two of the
Marshals.
Now, they're not wearing their badges. So,
They just have their uniforms on?
correct.
Gotcha.
Like, it was quick, but they can't legally be wearing their badges doing something. The uniform is questionable, the badges makes it
Right.
illegal.
Yeah.
They're doing something illegal. Now, just coming here is illegal. And this thing walks towards you guys, and you hear in your mind, this remains from our drop.
Whatever this is saying is in my head.
Yeah. In all three of your heads.
What is this? What is this?
This is part of the drop that is our claim.
Who are you?
I represent the interests that own the freighter. This is part of the freighter's value.
This vessel has been claimed by this man here.
There's evidence that a Kalid dragged it out this far to take it outside of our space.
That's not what happened, correct?
No.
Right. Not in front of my eyes, it didn't.
Were you here when the craft crashed?
We have video evidence of it crash. Who are you?
I represent those who own the freighter.
And who is that?
Carillion Dubois.
Carillion made a claim. They actually made the claim also on the other vehicle, on the other vessel,
they
right?
made an illegal
And
claim.
it was an illegal claim.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have an
Can
actual
we
body
hear
get there.
this?
Now they're a little further away.
Oh,
I
okay.
can't hear that.
We're listening for gunshots.
Carillion made
Yeah, I
a
know,
questionable
yeah.
claim on the other vessel, which remains to be seen how that's disposed of. But this vessel here was clearly claimed by Mr. Larson here.
There's video evidence that whatever this material is had broken off of the freighter, so it is part of the freighter claim.
This particular vessel may have been involved in an incident that took place that affected the security of the space station at Trident.
Do you represent the legal interests of the planet?
I'm a former tribune on the Planetary Council. and I'm here representing the Ing Foundation. And as I said, this man here has a legal claim. And we have personnel here with us who are prepared to help us render that claim, who are prepared to help him render that claim.
You are a Gray, correct?
Rayfield Gray, that's right. You still haven't told me your name.
Indore Chiki.
Nice to meet you.
This claim will be taken up as a legal matter. You have effectively all been served. How many other people, and who are the other people that are with you?
Your claim doesn't entitle you to any of that information.
And the thing turns and walks towards the other marshals, and they come closer, and it comes back without the other two.
What did the men do? So the thing walked. What happened? What did it do?
It turned from you and walked towards the other group, and they all came closer
To the other group of.
to the thing.
To the.
The two marshals.
The marshals came closer to the thing.
Yes.
To the
Like they were having their little
I see. They're having a little
conversation.
confab. I got you. Okay.
And then they backed up a little bit, and it comes back.
Mm-hmm.
There are now eyes on everything here, and there's video data and evidence that shows this is broken off of the vessel. Do not take material from the vessel, or from the material. Don't take any material from the area until it's been dealt with in a legal manner.
I was going to suggest you do the same.
I don't hear gunshots.
Then, you see a disc float away from her back up into the air, and it turns, and the rest of the marshals head back.
Do I have any idea what she is? What she represents?
No.
Yeah.
No.
It's likely some sort of Esper, but not sure.
Oh yeah.
Mind
You
talk.
felt it was talking to you.
It was talking in my mind, right?
Not
Right.
in your ear.
Not in my ear. Right.
Yeah, for sure it's an Esper. Yeah. It leaves.
And I look at these marshals. I want to commit their faces to memory.
You can commit at least.
Are they
two.
around? Are they close to us?
They're close enough that you could recognize them if you had to. Most of them.
Well, I mean, you presumably already knew that they were on the take, so.
Well, I mean, I look at them.
You know who they are.
You fellas not
Don't
making it.
scramble.
You're not making enough on the job now.
They don't respond to you. They keep going. One or two look back and like keep going.
Good. Yeah, I'm gonna. Remember those faces.
I don't want to be in court with this lady forever. This one's going to take forever with her. I know that.
Well, relax. We also, I'm out here for Adisa Ing, who himself is no slouch, and his foundation.
Sure.
I'm out here for his foundation as far as
I know
I'm
the
concerned.
name. I don't know the man. You got to walk back.
I'm not letting them get whatever this is on principle. If this was The Godfather, I'd take out my cigarette.
Yeah.
No, I'm just
In a way, this is the Godfather.
Yeah.
At the moment.
Got an
So
offer
they
you
left.
can't
They
refuse.
left,
They
right?
leave. They
Do
head
we
back.
do we
And
see them come back?
You see them coming. Tusk and the two of them.
So everything's better now, yeah?
And we took. I'm going to make sure I get a picture of this thing if we haven't already. If there, I mean, you're taking.
I got my little video.
Yeah, your
going
video
off
right here.
24/7.
So
The disc was, did we see that rise up? No.
You are not filled with bullets. This is good.
right.
So Tusk, did you see any?
Carillian's trying to claim this as hers. Part of broken off the freighter. Doesn't even realize what this is.
Right.
This is my claim.
No, of course I'm not
Yeah,
questioning
I know
that. No, I was just
I've
curious.
forever.
The historical scientific value of this vessel is incalculable. Incalculable.
You're on the wrong planet if you think that's the value of what's here.
There's something in this for everybody. Let's just put it that way, at least for now.
There you go.
especially them.
Yeah.
You gotta figure out what this template.
Well, they're lying. Number one, they're lying because this thing did not break off of that, but they
Oh, yeah,
obviously
they-
know what it is, and
Well, they know it's valuable and they want it. I
Yeah,
think that's
sure.
all they know.
maybe, but I don't know. I don't know about that. This Esper that was with them probably knows more than we do what can be done with it, or maybe not. I don't know.
The impression was that she was expecting this to be a valuable job. That's why she was able to put the claim down from space.
That's actually
That's kind of her
It's a-
SOP,
it's a-
I think.
The other one
it's
was
a piracy kind of thing.
the other one was a scheduled drop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other one was a scheduled
Yeah.
drop.
Both went in.
This was not a scheduled drop,
Right.
right?
Yeah,
I mean,
she
it
didn't
was
do
This is not a
Yeah.
drop.
right. So
It's a crash.
So how did they know, or did they know that this was going to be?
They might not have. They might not have just seen that it heard the reports and they're trying to claim
Right.
extra
They
stuff.
might, yeah.
Yeah, from what I hear, this is kind of what she does.
Right. So this, right? They spend their time watching out for these things, but this thing was powerful enough to affect the space station. So we still don't know the full depth and breadth of the technology that's available. This thing just passing by, doing what other things do 50 times a day, knocked the space station offline.
It should be
Correlation and causation are two different things.
It should also be
Okay.
noted. It should also be noted that this ship is, according to all that we have seen, still intact and functional.
And let's not forget that what we've heard is to be believed, these are the Artorians. They possibly created the Crucible. The technology is light years beyond ours.
Does that name Ator doesn't have any other significance other than this outside of this conversation that we just had with the computer? Okay.
Well, I think our priority needs to be getting the computer to recognize us with further access.
And protecting this.
Can we
claim.
bury this thing? I mean, we
It's
should.
mostly buried.
Well, no. I mean, didn't we? So the thing said that it was going to the ashes, right? That seemed to be that seems to be the key,
We
right?
need to
It's
find
buried
the temple. That's what it said.
at the temple.
Which is supposed to be located here, but it's possible that. So using a little astrographic, if I can calculate when they were the data that the computer is using was from, I can then extrapolate forward to where we are now and try and
Right.
recreate maybe where it was trying to get.
Possibly.
Theoretically, you would need to know the exact date at which the planet became tidally locked, so you would be able to account for what would have
Yeah,
been
what it
the
would
rotation.
look like. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or how
But
many
You
thousands
know
of
from
years?
school that it is not actually tidally locked. It is so slowly moving at this point that it might take 10,000 years for it to move a few hundred miles and create something super, super slowly moving still, rotating. It's not completely tidally locked. It's mostly tidally
I
locked.
will impart that
Yeah.
information. But
Also, presumably the latitude would be correct. It's just the longitude. So somewhere along.
well, also there's a matter of the sand. In other words, how far down? If we're in the location where the temple is, then we just have to figure out how far down it is based on how long ago it was before the ship left. Maybe.
Yeah.
Possible either that or it's on a different we're just off the longitude by X number of miles. Like if we just go directly east or directly west.
But
maybe
it's
we
still
find it
down. It's covered by
Probably,
sand though.
yeah.
Yeah, because we don't think there's any
Potentially.
structures out here. So yeah,
Those structures that you know of.
so it's
Right.
buried too.
So it has to be down.
yeah,
But
just- I don't know if
there's
it's a
also
straight
been
down.
no aerial surveys or this.
You can't really
does
do
this
that.
Nothing to see,
do that
can't.
Hard to do on
sometime?
CF sand.
Yeah.
It could technically be
It is either buried.
near or at the surface. It's hidden in the gray. No one
Right.
can see it.
It is either buried, not here and buried, destroyed, or not here and destroyed.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, that was useful. Now, can you figure it out or not?
I can.
You-
Excuse me. My expertise is in careful applied mechanical
There
violence.
you go.
You work on the language AI.
what
I'm
I'm
going to
doing.
work on the astrological data. And then
I'm gonna go take a piss,
yeah,
All right.
that's good. That's
and
good.
I think this is a good place to break.
Okay. Good.
All right. You want to run the in screen? Okay, that's it. That's it.
Nicely done.
All right.
Thank you. Yeah.
Good work.
Good job.
Thank you.